economic, ethical, and biological look at deer hunting. This evening I would like to discuss the economic, ethical, and biological benefit hunting has on this country. In this country, we as citizens have certain rights and responsibilities that we get to choose as free people. The right here that I will be talking about is going to be over the rights and responsibilities of hunting. We will be taking a look at the pros of how deer hunting has an economic benefit to rural communities, how ethics impacts people that hunt, and how managed legal deer hunting helps rather than hurts deer population. Much of the information that I will be presenting to you tonight will be found on the bottom of your handouts. In this country, there's a large growing population of people that choose to hunt deer as a form of recreation and a source of food. At the same time, there are people that do not agree with the hunting of deer, and it is these people I wish to address this evening. I would like to make an attempt here to get people that are against the hunting of deer to look further into what the sport actually does. I want to give a person that has never hunted or has never had an interest in hunting an idea of what kinds of impacts hunting has on the economy, the ethics instilled to a person that hunts, and biological effects of our country's deer populations over the last century. First, let's take a look at the economical impacts hunting has. According to an economic impact study done by the International Association of Fish and Wildlife Agencies Animal Use Issues Committee, on average, hunting generates more than $67 billion in economic output nationally per year. Of this, $27 billion is generated in retail sales, creating $17 billion for use as salaries and wages to employ 575,000 American workers. This impact creates revenues for government agencies at all levels from the national to the local level. On average, an individual hunter can spend approximately $1,896 per year on hunting, making up 5.5% of the typical wage earner's annual income. This number can have a large impact on smaller rural communities, and in some instances it is this revenue that keeps them going economically. Hunters pay a special excise tax under the Pittman-Robertson legislation on certain hunting equipment, and this money generated from this legislation is put back to the state's natural resource agencies for them to use to manage the natural resources for all of us to enjoy, even people that choose not to hunt. The effects of overpopulation can have a negative economic impact when we consider deer vehicle accidents. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, on average there are 1.5 million car accidents with deer each year. These accidents cause approximately $1 billion in vehicle damage alone and cause about 10,000 personal injuries. Of course, there are damages you cannot put a price on that include about 150 human fatalities per year. With money generated from hunters, biologists are looking at populations and setting hunting laws to allow for more manageable deer populations to bring these auto accidents down. Now let's take a look at how ethics play an important role in hunting. Hunters today, in the enjoyment of their sport, have to be pretty sharp on the laws that govern hunting in most states. If you think hunting is just picking up a weapon and going into the woods to shoot at an animal, you are mistaken. Open any state's hunting guide and you will see that there are quite a few laws that every hunter must abide by in order to stay clear of heavy fines and/or imprisonment. Along with the laws of the state, each hunter should be following the unwritten law. This unwritten law is what separates ethical hunters from unethical ones. By teaching these laws, both written and unwritten, hunters are teaching younger generations to respect the law and make ethical, moral choices in what they are doing. It is teaching our younger generation to respect the law and to make moral choices when hunting can quite possibly lead them to make moral choices in other aspects of their life. Let's change pace a little bit and look at the impact of hunting on deer populations. Due to uncontrolled hunting, deer populations were reduced to approximately 500,000 in the early 20th century in this country. In the 1920s and 30s, states started passing laws putting restrictions on the hunting of deer, especially female does. It was after these restrictions were in place, biologists started seeing that if a deer herd had plenty to eat, was not hunted by humans or other wild predators, a deer herd could double in size every 3 years. This started biologists looking at two different ways to control deer populations: decreasing the birth rate or increasing the death rate. If biologists work on only decreasing the birth rate by contraceptives or sterilization, this takes a toll on hunters' impact to economic benefits hunting in general brings to the economy. By allowing hunting, which is increasing the death rate in the deer populations, will help control the populations to manageable levels. Any person that chooses to hunt has that right, and as long as he or she follows the written or unwritten laws, please respect them by not trying to infringe on their rights to enjoy their hobby. Based on the information I've presented to you today, become educated about hunting and learn how it can be an enjoyable hobby with many benefits. If you have any interest in taking a Texas Hunters Education course, please talk to Woody Mim, member of the audience, at the conclusion of this presentation. Thank you all for coming out.